The people have spoken. It is time for another Prestige recap or challenge completion update. Just over 2 months ago, I hit Prestige 10 and made the video for that. Now I've recently passed level 100 of Prestige 20, and that seems like a pretty good time for one of these. I've also hit a few other big milestones along the way, so as usual, we'll go back in time to just about where we left off at the end of Prestige 10 in the previous video. On February 11th, about to enter Prestige 11 with the stats you see there. If you're new around here, I don't particularly care about my stats. My sense of self-worth is not tied up in my underwhelming kill-death ratio. I do spend a lot of time messing around going for challenges after all, and it's not fun to care about both challenge grinding and KD at the same time. That's an issue a lot of people seem to have when going for challenges like the Claymore double kills, because the best way to do that one is to run around on shipment with only Claymores and Sonic Boom, maybe martyrdom to recover some kills, but you have to suffer through a bunch of 30 kill, 80 death games if you want to get that done quickly, which will not be a good time if you want to preserve your KD for something. My challenge completion was at 74%. I was still holding off on the 3 free-for-all challenges because of my self-imposed prove I'm not boosting for camos in cage match thing, because free-for-all and cage match stats are combined into one category under free-for-all on the leaderboards, and I wanted to show that I had never played it. Not like anyone thinks I did any boosting for camos because of how incredibly long I've taken to earn them, but I did say I would hold off on the free-for-all challenges until Exclusion Zone, so I might as well stick to it. And I still had some challenges to finish up in other categories like Carpet Bomb, Double Tap, Double Down, slightly faster, but nearly there for all of them. Camos were at 61%. I know, I moved pretty slowly on the camos, but I didn't mind that one bit. Mainly assault rifles and SMGs I left to the end, I guess because they're pretty multi-purpose and can be used on nearly any map, and because there were a lot of them, so the progress was spread out evenly. Always fun to check the leaderboard, and at the time I was hovering just above the top 10,000. Time to enter Prestige 11. February 12th now, the very next day. Gee, I wonder if there was double XP. In the 11th Prestige, I finished off the M40, getting that to gold, also meaning the Regal sniper rifles, leaving only the SMGs and ARs. And right at the end of Prestige 11, in the same game that I maxed out level 55, I also got the gold XMLAR, not really a step towards Exclusion Zone, but I was going to do all the camos at some point, even for the add-on weapons. So there's that. Stats unimpressive as always, but continuing to trend up very slowly. 76% career challenges, finished off a couple things that were near completion, like slightly faster. 63% camo, but I already showed which ones I completed. The camo progress took another big pause because I spent a lot of that prestige using the first wave of DLC weapons, and that counts as progress towards the expanded challenges. But that's all to go over. Leaderboard check. Well under top 10k now, around 8,300. Prestige 12 time. This prestige was around the time when I was looking out for opportunities to complete Return to Sender with Claymores instead of just looking for C4, now that I knew that trick, and I saw a possibility here. There was one placed in such a way that it would be easy to shoot if the guy in this building came around the corner. Unfortunately, I did not have time to turn off the goddamn auto-aim, just like I recommended doing way back in that counter C4, counter Claymore shipment challenges video. It makes the aim flip out around the guy, giving me no chance at controlling it, and that ruined my hopes and dreams of getting one towards that challenge in that moment. Feels bad, but no gold camos earned in that prestige. Here on February 22nd, about to hit the button again. Stats on the screen there, 76% career challenges, that hasn't even changed, and 67% camo, changed by only 4%. I think a lot of the time was spent on DLC weapons again. Finished off the double tap challenge, and only 2 more needed for double down, the last stand challenge. Leaderboard check, 7145, definitely slowing down as expected, but still making good progress. Prestige 13. I have another Return to Sender example to show, but this time it goes a little better. Ran up behind this guy and his claymores. I didn't think much of it at first, but thankfully when he ran in front of the claymore, I had a quick realization and managed to blow it up in time. Finally 1 out of 3 on that challenge, but nowhere near done with it. February 25th now, about to prestige once again. I think there was more double XP on that weekend, like back-to-back weekends. 77% career, finally went up 1%, and 69% camo. I think I'll skip through most of this footage from now on, because I don't think I need to show the same things every time just to say, oh look, that changed a little bit. On the leaderboards, just under 6k. Prestige 14 now. Here are a couple challenges I finally knocked out, both of them at the same time actually, with a big airstrike. Finally picked up the last 5-kill carpet bomb I needed, and the final hex a kill for I Lost Count. A bit later, but not in the same game, I got the gold Kamchatka 12 as well. Again, doesn't help with Exclusion Zone, but again, that doesn't matter. That isn't the end goal. I also happened to finish off the Double Down challenge after some encouragement. The reason I'm moving around was not to be an asshole, by the way, but to try to make sure they don't headshot me, because then I wouldn't go until last stand. Right here, I finish off the M14 camos, get that to gold finally, just in the nick of time at the end of that game. That was a pretty productive prestige, but it was around then that I realized I really needed to start working on the MP44 at the end of every prestige, because you only have it unlocked from 52 to 55, and I had made very little progress on it. I did not want to end up waiting to unlock it, or having to use a prestige token on it, just out of principle, because it's the MP44, even though I think I had a dozen of those tokens lying around that I never felt like spending on anything. So February 26th, now riding the same double XP, 78% career. It made sense to go through all the categories for the prestige 1 to 10 recap, but now nothing really changes except for a couple big challenges each time, so I like the format of showing the challenge actually get completed in-game over reading it off the challenge page. The camos now at 72%, still not a single gold SMG, but a lot of them were nearly there. 85% on the expanded challenges, might even 100% that, assuming they don't add another operation and therefore more expanded challenges. No way that would ever happen. Pretty cool position on the leaderboards, just under 5,000 that time. Hello, Prestige 15. This clip I had to recover by using the PS4 share button thing that's always recording in the background, so excuse the quality, but this always happens whenever I happen to not be recording, is when I get a lucky point towards Martyr Dominated. Very glad to be getting that one done a bit at a time. Next I got the 44 Magnum to gold, completing the 3 original supply drop weapons, and later got the P90 to gold, finally an SMG on the board. In this game I thought I might have scored my 4th point towards Martyr Dominated. I threw a grenade before I dropped the Martyrdom grenade, so it could have been either one really. Turns out no, that was not Martyr Dominated, that was the Throne grenade that got the triple. Now here on March 16th, I took a bit of a break as things got busy. You can tell by the camo, Shamrock and Awe was in full effect. Now at 79% career, slow going on that. There's the Martyr Dominated progress. I finished Silent but Deadly at some point too, might have forgotten to mention that, but I didn't consider it a big challenge, just one I put off doing for a while. Still needed more collaterals, but with the Regal unlocked, I stopped using sniper rifles for a while. Was starting to get into some more interesting prestige challenges as well. 75% camo progress, many things approaching completion. Only the Scorpion and the MP44 really got left behind. The old expanded challenges were nearing completion as well, except for Flying Circus, because I was waiting to unlock the Jump Slasher challenge at Prestige 18 to complete them both at the same time, and they also added the Lion Strike challenges, which I would have to complete to finish the category, and I'm sure they're not done adding either. On the leaderboard, you can see I barely moved forward that time because of the several weeks of not playing. People had time to get ahead of me. Time for Prestige 16, though. I got the gold G36, but that was about it. Prestiging on March 18th here, we had that party-only double XP event. That was fun playing with a whole bunch of people, but nothing much of note to talk about in that prestige. 79% on the camo progress, finally overtaking the relatively stagnant career progress. I did finish off all the Daybreak camos, that went quite quickly, but good to get them out of the way so I don't get stuck with an impossible challenge, or maybe one that I have to wait a whole year for if they bring the maps back. They're in the game already, so I don't see why not. Making good progress on the leaderboards, again down to 4,300. Let us enter Prestige 17, in which I got the gold AK-47, but that's about it. Here on March 25th to enter Prestige 18, still with 79% career, but with 1 point towards counter MVP, finally, but only thanks to the slasher game mode and that video I made about it back then. Still a messed up challenge to this day. 84% on the camos, 71% on expanded, and leaderboard position just above 4K, getting tougher to advance as I enter the no life zone up here. That Prestige 18 logo looks a little bit JPEG-y, I have to say. In this Prestige, I got the gold G3, but nothing else. Here to Prestige on March 26th, the very next day, 79% challenge progress, what a surprise. Working on those Prestige challenges, 87% on the camos, nearly done with assault rifles now, just that MP44 left, and 73 on expanded, not much change there. And finally, under 3,500 on the leaderboards, Prestige 19, so close to never having to reset again. This time around I got the gold MP5 and the gold AK-74U, finally toppling some dominoes in the SMG category, and here it is on Saturday, April 1st, time for the big 20th Prestige, saying goodbye to these classes, but then never having to recreate them ever again. I have yet to use the other pages of classes I've been unlocking, but knowing that they won't reset, I'll definitely set them all up. I can have a full loadout of every class I could possibly want to use. Before that, I'll get the camos done though, and then I'll also be going for the 100% completion of the attachments challenges, since those won't won't reset anymore. Might as well unlock all of them. I've been going through more of the stats in depth, as the big 20 is more of a milestone. 81% on career. I knocked out some of the easier prestige challenges. Also did the ninja one for the guide, and 92% on the camos. Only need a bit on the MP44 and some work on the Scorpion and Uzi, but the headshots were nearly all done. 75% on the expanded though, still had some camos to earn on the second wave supply drop weapons, and under 3k on the leaderboards now. Time to hit the big button for Prestige 20. Nowhere near done with the grind, but this being the last reset ever, there we are, feels good. Apparently I lost the footage of earning the gold Scorpion, but here was the gold mini Uzi, which unlocked Regal SMGs, the MP44 being the last weapon required, and here's a pretty cool thing where everything just came together at once here on April 6th. I was one game away from hitting Prestige 20 level 55, which doesn't really mean anything, but it seemed symbolic. At the same time, I just got under 2,500 on the leaderboard, and MWR was hours away from hitting 5 million total players, meaning I'm in the top 0.05% of MWR players. And at the same time, I was 1 kill away from earning Exclusion Zone. The only part of all of that was planned was that one game ago I noticed I was at 142 on the MP44 and figured I'd get 7 kills so that'd be 1 kill away. But the rest of it all just lined up. Somehow I ended up earning Exclusion Zone at the exact moment I hit Prestige 20 level 55. There is the kill and all the challenges that will follow, capped off by that rank up to level 55. That obviously took way longer than it had to earn the camos. I used the DLC weapons. I didn't really race to get headshots. I just let them happen naturally, but I did only use weapons that needed camos unlocked, so I wasn't too inefficient. I did use a lot of double XP as well, which partially explains why I'm unlocking it at Prestige 20. Anyone above Prestige 8 to 10ish, I will assume they earned it legitimately, but it does make me a little suspicious of anyone with Exclusion Zone super early. Of course, they could have held off prestiging for a long time, but I don't know who does that and then continues prestiging. Anyway, there's the big rank up. Of course I had to try out the camo. It actually has a different application area than anything else. You can see it covers much more of the gun and weapon kit than any other camo does. Definitely a cool looking camo, I have to say, but the bright green glow can feel like a disadvantage, especially on darker maps like Bog and Wetwork come to mind. Especially if you're sniping, you're making it much easier for people to spot you. But there it is, finally earned it, although I do have some camos to earn on the supply drop weapons. I can skip around to those. Here was the PKM gold unlock, the Mac 10 gold unlock, and the D25S in bad quality because I had to grab it from the PS4 recording thing again. Here I was at nice and level 69, another thing not planned, but this is when I finished off all the camos, meaning the expanded challenges were all complete. That's 2 completed categories, and I remembered this meant I was released from my self-imposed free-for-all ban. I earned all my camos legitimately, no cage match played, no boosting going on here. I can take a look at those empty free-for-all leaderboards, nothing played. So after that, it was finally time to jump into free-for-all and knock out all those game mode challenges. A couple of them overlapped and only required wins, but one required winning by a margin of 7 kills, which took some tryharding, but suffice to say, this was the very first game I played. Looks like you put on the M16 and life gets pretty easy. Here was the very next game. Yeah, I think I can get that 7 kill challenge done. And here was the final game where that happened, and I completed the game modes category. You can hear all the challenges going off in the background. You also saw a strategy I put into place there to work on the finishing touch prestige challenge. It requires you to get the final kill of a match with an airstrike, and you obviously have the most control over that if you're able to win free-for-all matches comfortably. You can hold on to that airstrike the whole game and try to pick up the last kill with it. In other games, you're just hoping you get the last kill. Another key event, I suppose, as we approach current day. We're back to bad quality video because, of course, I had to recover another martyr-dominated clip. Here was the 4th point towards that challenge. Got lucky with some people running towards it looks like. And a few levels later, since I was using sniper rifles again, I got that collaterals challenge done without any worries. And here I hit level 100 in a very boring fashion, hiding in slasher mode while studying for final exams. A nice little XP boost for the challenge, but that hardly helps me get to the next milestone of 150. So I took a good look through everything at level 100. I made all of my classes. I won't spend time explaining them all right now, but if people are interested, I could go through all those some other time. There they are, the level 100 stats. Funny to be right there at 60,000 kills. Only 90,000 more kills to level 1,000. Well, it depends on double XP. 100% attachments, 100% camos, 100% expanded challenges. 86% career challenges. I have 2 out of 3 on Return to Sender, 1 more will complete Humiliation. In Valor, I plan on going for those big kill streak challenges now. I know I can do it with some M16 shenanigans, I just haven't been racing to get them done because I know Counter MVP will be holding up this category anyway. I assume Invincible will complete itself eventually, but I may end up trying to get that one done manually. I never tested my theory on if you could take helicopter fire with Juggernaut on and duck in and out of cover to try to complete that challenge. In Prestige, 100 Scalps is going pretty slow. Superstar is too, but it's going. And I bet when I'm going for the high kill streak challenges, it'll go a lot faster. Finishing Touch, I may want to delve back into free-for-all to complete, or I can just keep calling in airstrikes near the end of games. But that's everything for the challenges, just a whole lot of leveling to do, basically. That title is definitely the coolest one, even though I guess the one with the skulls indicates you've completed the other challenges aside from just leveling up. Strange that there's no master title for everything being done, I assume. I don't know of any hidden title. Around 2400 on the leaderboards, that position will likely vary, but I'll see how high I can get. Top 1000, I can see being a cool goal. Top 500 might be insane. I don't know what the scores look like up there, but it's probably a bunch of crazy shipment lobby guys. I doubt I can compete. I don't have that much time to spend on this. I don't really have that much depot junk. I always have enough depot credits to earn the weapons with the parts, and that's all that really matters. It is not a goal of mine to complete any of these collections. It's somewhat satisfying, but getting all that stuff does not matter at all. Since that level 100 check-in, the only thing that has changed in a few more levels is a few more points towards Counter MVP as I finished out the Slasher weekend. Maybe a couple more of those weekends and I can finally put that horrible challenge behind me. So I'm not done playing the game. I have no idea how far I'll go. Obviously being level 107, I'm about 40.4% of the way towards level 1000. That's about how the math works out because of course now every level is 45.8k, not even halfway there. I think the true halfway point is around 250. Well, I intend to complete a couple more of these challenges, play it by ear, see if I get bored, see if something else catches my attention. They'll probably dump some more operations and whatever supply drops on us, which I might be okay with, but if they go the route of finally adding all those attachments, I don't think I'll be too thrilled. But either way, that'll be something to do. I suppose that's everything for this big Prestige recap. Obviously, there won't be another one of these with no more Prestiges to go through, but there may be something similar if I either hit level 1000 somehow, or if I decide to call it quits at some point, like level 500. Who knows, or if I have 100% challenge completion, except for the levels, and decide that's good enough. I have no idea, but there we have it. Thanks for watching and following along with the journey. I'll catch you next time.